Hi guys, so in this video we're going to go over the 3 examples for finding the missing angle using trigonometric ratios. Now before we get started we have to go ahead and write our formulas. So you remember the formulas are ca, and then toa. So those are the 3 trigonometric functions that we're using: sine, cosine, and tangent. Now the first one, we have to go ahead and identify what is the relationship between the sides and the angle. So first of all, we start with the easy one. This is going to be my 90-degree angle, meaning that my 24 is going to be my what? The hypotenuse, right? Because it's opposite to that one. Now, from the angle that we're being asked to find, which I'm going to call x, this 14 is going to be my opposite. So that means that this is going to be opposite and hypotenuse. Looking at our 3 functions, that gives us sine or so. So let's go ahead and use that. I'm going to make this bigger just so that I can use it. So we have sine of x is equal to 14 over 24, because remember it's opposite over hypotenuse. And then from here we use our calculator. So let's move this a little bit closer. We have 14, oh it's not on, 14 divided by 24, that gives me sine of x, and I'm going to use the first 5 decimal places. So that's going to be 5, 8, and then 3 repeated. So 0.58333. So those are the first 5 numbers. And then from here, how do I get x by itself? What's the inverse operation of sine of x? Well, it's to take the inverse sign on both sides, right? So we do sine of what we had originally, sine of x. Oh, and it's sine to sine inverse has a power of -1 on top. It's equal to sine inverse of the number. So we have 0.58333. And then our answer is going to be, well, these two cancel out, so all we have left is x, and we have to put this part in the calculator. So we go to our calculator. Remember, to get the inverse, that's going to be this blue on top. So we click second. That's going to give us, make sure that you have the power -1 here, and now you put your decimal. So it's going to be 0.58333, close parentheses. So that's going to give me 35.685, right? Well, I'm only going to write the first 3 for this one, and then remember we're rounding it to the nearest degree. So I look at this number, and then go ahead and look at the number next to it or after it. That's going to be 6. Now, is that 5 or greater? Yes, it is. So that means that my answer is actually going to be x is equal to 36 degrees. Or you can just write x equal to 36. And that's it, that you're done. So now let's go over number 2. So again, we have to first identify which of the 3 functions, trigonometric functions, we're going to use. So we have sine, cosine, and tangent. The easier one to identify is the hypotenuse, which is going to be this, because that's the one that's opposite to the 90-degree angle. But we don't know what it is, right? We don't know what that side is. So I'm not going to be using that one. So automatically, I know that I'm not going to be using sine or cosine because we're not using h. We don't know what h is. So it's going to be tangent. But for tangent, I also need to know which one's opposite. So this is going to be my x because that's my angle. This is going to be my opposite. And that means that this is going to be my adjacent, right? So we have opposite over adjacent. So it's going to be tan of x is equal to opposite over adjacent. So what's my next step? What do I have to do with that fraction? You have to go ahead and put it in a calculator, right? So I'm going to make a little bit of space here just so that I can show you a different way to do this too. So yeah, that looks pretty good space. So we're going to go ahead and write tan of x is equal to, and using my calculator, 29 divided by 38. That gives me 0.76. So I'm going to write it here. Let's write 0.76315. So again, I'm writing down the first 5 decimal places. In this case, I did not round the last decimal place. I'm just going to write it down because it's not going to make that much of a difference once I take the inverse. So to get rid of this tan of x, I have to go ahead and use the inverse, right? Remember, the inverse is tan to the power -1. So you always use the inverse. And then I'll put parentheses. And it's going to be tan of x is equal to, and whatever I do to one side, I have to do it to the other side. So it's going to be this, 0.76315. And these two are going to cancel out because they're opposites of each other. That's the point of doing the inverse. It's going to be giving me x is equal to whatever this is on the calculator. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me move my calculator more to this side just so we can see it. So how do I get that tan inverse? You press second, tan inverse, 0.76315, close parentheses. I get 37.349. So 37.349. I want it rounded to the nearest degree. So because I want it rounded to the nearest degree, I look at my 7. I look at the number next to it. That's a 3, so that's going to stay as a 37. So x is approximately, you can use the squiggly lines since it's an approximation, 37. Or you can use equal as well. In your classwork, they're going to use equal. And now for number 3. So number 3, in this case, you start always with the hypotenuse. So in this case, this is going to be my hypotenuse. And now this is going to be my angle. This side is opposite to my angle. So it's my opposite, but we're not given what this is. So I'm just going to erase it. I just wanted to show you that that's the opposite because that's going to help me show that 26 is my adjacent. So which one uses adjacent and hypotenuse? That's going to be my right? Cosine. Cosine uses adjacent and hypotenuse. So this is going to be cosine of x is equal to 26 divided by 45. Well, this is going to be cosine of x is equal to, let's see, 26 divided by 45. That's going to give me 5.57 repeated. How do I get rid of that cosine? What do I have to do to both sides? This is the inverse, right? So cosine to the power -1 is equal to cosine to the power -1. I don't think it's going to fit, but I'll try my best. Cosine of x goes here, and 0.57777 and these two are going to cancel out because they're inverse. So all you have left is x is equal to whatever this is in the calculator. So let's go ahead and move it closer just so that we can see it. Oh, we have to use the inverse, so click second, cosine inverse 0.57777. There's going to be 5 of them. 54.706. So is that my answer? No, we want it as nearest degree. So look at my 4. Look at the 7. So the 7 is 5 or greater. So that means that my answer is going to be 55. And that's it. Okay, guys, hope you guys followed along. You guys can repeat it as many times as you want, or you can also send me questions through Remind or email. Good luck, guys. Bye-bye.